It's Peekay, the weatherman, bringing you the real news and not the bullshit, brought to you by the Bomb and Weather Zone. 28th of December, a third of the way through summer, 3 more days before the end of the horror 2020 year. Guess what? Maximum today, 18 degrees. Unheard of. Unfreaking heard of. 18 degrees in, third of the way through summer. Currently 1:30 p.m, 16.9, so I'll be lucky to get to 18. It is a joke. Next few days, all in the early 20s. I don't want to go through day by day, but it's been a Scheisenhaus in December so far. Hardly a hot day, hardly any beach weather, and as I keep pointing out, long-term average 24.2. Bullshit. Make that an extra 3 or 4, at least 27, 28. This month we got 23. They're saying it's minus 1.2. It's more like minus 5. But anyway, as long as it's going to be under, which it will, if you go on these figures here, it will be under. So they can't bullshit about how there goes another month with temperatures above average. But do they talk about this shit, how it's cold? No. What do they talk about? Check this out. More heat for the next big date in Western Australia. Another heat wave is forecast to bake the southwest later this week. Hot on the heels of a Christmas that was the warmest in decades for many areas. I don't give a fuck about Western Australia. We know it's always hot there. That's what they do. They find somewhere in Australia where it's warm, hot, heat wave, whatever, all those terms, scorcher, and that's what the headlines are. No, the headline should be Melbourne freezes at late December with 16.9, 18 degrees in Melbourne. Unheard of, honestly. Woke up this morning, I thought, freaking hell, this isn't summer. Anyway, no one seems too concerned about it because they're more concerned about walking around with masks so that they don't die from an unknown or non-existing virus. They couldn't give a shit about how the weather's been controlled. And I just want to point out yesterday, it says here, I'll just go back here, we were at 18 on Thursday, 20, 26. It said it was nearly 32 degrees yesterday. What a lot of bullshit. It was a shit-house, overcast day, windy. The wind was, it wasn't a hot wind, it was coolish, even though it's from the north. But what we always get in Melbourne now is a cool change whenever there's a day over 30. We get a cool change. It would have dropped from 31 down to 20, less than 20. About 3, 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Like I said, no way known was 32. No way known. But that just pumps up the average. And what I don't get, I was talking to my friend about this. Go back a week, when we had all these shitty days, they predicted a week before yesterday that it was going to be exactly that. 32 degrees, was going to be windy, with a cool change. How do they do that 7 days beforehand? I don't know. Day before wasn't a bad day. No wind. It was sunny, but all of a sudden they knew 7 days earlier it was going to be shit. And they actually knew it was going to be 18 degrees the next day. How? 7 days earlier. Anyway, have they got a crystal ball? Do they look at, the hypnotic chart? They check out the isobars? I don't know. I'd love to spend some time in the BOM, Bureau of Meteorology, and check out how they do this. Normally they can't even tell you what the next day is going to be like, but some reason they knew it was going to be windy with the change coming 7 days prior. But anyway, I just had to tell you how cold it is because you won't hear it on the news or anywhere or any weather sites. They just want to tell you how in Western Australia it's hot. That's supposed to be a headline when it's hot friggin' just about all the time. Anyway, it's a joke. So I hope everyone's had a lovely Christmas and not much to be happy about, but the Happy New Year. Apparently I've heard that Melbourne's going to be closed at 6 p.m. People aren't going to be allowed to be in the central business district or in the Melbourne area for any fireworks celebrations or anything like that. But we've had 50 odd days with hardly any cases. I ain't keeping up with the bullshit because it's all scripted. They're just waiting for the big shit coming next year, but keep us a little bit happy over Christmas. Yeah, 50 days of no cases, but yet New Year's Eve celebrations have been cancelled. We can't even celebrate that because of fear of this bullshit non-existent virus that everyone's hiding under the beds from. It's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. The people, I feel embarrassed to even walk outside. People still wearing masks, but anyway, that's another issue. Let's talk about the weather, which no one talks about. Let's talk about the weather that's controlled and has been for a long time.